Hello, creators. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to the Art Part with Miss Colleen. Today we will be exploring a little bit more the art element known as color. Now, specifically, we are going to be talking about complementary colors and what they can do in your artwork. When we talk about complementary colors in art, we spell that with an E, as in complete, because in a way, these colors can help complete each other. When we take a look back at our color wheel, we will find that complementary colors are colors that are directly across from each other on our color wheel. So the complementary color of red is green, the complementary color of blue is orange, and the complementary color of yellow is purple, and vice versa. There are a few different ways complementary colors can help us in our artwork. They can make each other appear brighter when they are next to each other. They can draw the viewer's eye to certain objects or places. So we're going to explore different ways that we can use these complementary colors. We're going to start with our materials, which are a piece of paper. You can use a pencil, but it's not really necessary. And we are going to be using our set of colors. For me, that is a set of crayons. So we're going to start by choosing our complementary colors. We have red and green is an option. You could use orange and blue. You could use yellow and purple. It is up to you. Go ahead and choose a set of complementary colors, colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. And we're going to create our entire piece of art today using just our complementary colors. So I think for me today, I am going to choose, how about, I'm gonna go with yellow, or I'm gonna do orange and blue. I think I'm gonna stick with orange and blue today. Any combination of colors you want to use is okay, as long as they are directly across from each other on that color wheel. The way we're going to create our artwork today is we are going to create a scene that is mostly one of our complementary colors and will have a few elements that are the other complementary color. So I think for me today, I'm going to create a scene that is mostly blue, but I'm going to create a few little details in my artwork that are orange. So take a moment, you can take a moment to imagine what kind of artwork you want to create, what kind of scene. Maybe it's a room in your house, or maybe it's somewhere outdoors, maybe it's a building that you've seen, or maybe it's something just out of your imagination. All of that is okay. Just pick one of your colors to use for most of your artwork, and then you'll use the other color for just a few little details, maybe one or two little details. For me, I think I'm going to draw a backyard. I think I'm going to draw a backyard today. I don't know why, that's just what I'm feeling. So I think I will start with a house. I'm going to start with my blue because most of my picture is going to be blue. I'm going to draw a house right here on the side. Wherever you want to start in your artwork is totally fine. Maybe the roof of the house comes off like this, goes up there, and goes back like that. Maybe it comes like this. There we go. This is just out of my own imagination. Another thing that you can do as you're doing this is create different values as you're drawing. And a value when we're talking about art, and I'll go over this a little bit more in another video, but that is whether a color is lighter or darker. So if I press very hard on the crayon, that gives me a darker value. And that's something that I can use. Since I'm mostly going to be using this blue, I don't want to color the whole thing all the same, but maybe I can create some differences by how hard or how light I am pressing on my crayon. I think I'll do door here, and maybe there's some steps. So take a few minutes to start working on something in your drawing. You don't have to know everything about your drawing. You just have to pick one thing to start. It's like I've picked my house here. Some nice back steps there. And I think that'll come kind of like that. There we go. That actually ended up being a pretty good line right there. I'm gonna do a bit of a dark color on my top part of the step. Maybe a lighter color on a different part. You can already in your mind start thinking about what are some things that you would like to include in your drawing that are going to stand out because they will be that contrasting color. For example, I think I'm going to include maybe a flower in this backyard. I think this back door will have a window. And I'm gonna put a dog door or a cat door or a alligator door. I don't know what kind of pet these people have. They might have an alligator. Pet door, we'll say pet door. And doorknob. There we go. Maybe I'll put a little window here. I don't want to spend too long on this house because I have to get to the rest of the artwork. I think I will put a fence in the back of this backyard. Let's put a fence. Maybe the fence is right about, where do I want my fence? Put my fence right here. There we go. Maybe it has some vertical boards. Vertical board fence. Still using my blue crayon. Now, if I wanted to draw attention to the fence, I could make the fence orange. If I wanted to draw attention to the pet door, I could make the pet door orange. It's whatever you want to draw someone's eye to in your drawing. A contrasting, complementary color is a very good way to do that. There we go. A little bit of a fence there. I think I will color my fence in very lightly. Maybe behind this fence, maybe there are some trees back here. You may have noticed based on other videos, I love trees. I put a lot of trees in my drawings because I just think they're so cool. I think they're beautiful, they're interesting to learn about, they're interesting to look at, and they give us so much. We have to make sure we take care of them. I think for my leaves, I'm still gonna stick with my blue crayon because I don't know if I want to draw attention to the leaves. Maybe I'll see later if I change my mind about that. Just gonna do some loopy leaves with a slight little oval like that. Just one way to do trees. I like to try different ways of doing trees. It's fun to try different things in your drawing and see maybe you'll create something new that you didn't even think of before. Maybe you'll create something new that you've never seen anyone else do before. That's very exciting. That's one of the fun things about art, is trying different things. Seeing what you like. I think I'll do another tree over here. Here we are. So if you're a little bit ahead of me and you've already thought of something that you want to use your complementary color for, you can do that, but don't go overboard. Don't do too many things. For this project, we're just doing one or two things with our complementary color so that we can really explore and understand how that complementary color can draw the viewer's eye, can really stand out when there's only a little bit of it. We got a couple of trees there. I think I'm going to include some grass. I think I'm going to put some grass at the bottom of this fence so you can see that it's a grassy backyard. Maybe I'll put some paving stones down here. Or you know what? I think this is going to be a little patio area. Put a little patio here in the back of the house. And then, well, now I've made all of this grass, so that's okay. We'll say there's grass growing on the edge of the patio. That's okay. And, see, maybe there's a little table here. Do I want to draw attention to the table? Maybe, maybe not. I think no. Just gonna make it a nice blue table. But maybe I'll put a flower on the table that I want to draw attention to. We'll see. Nice little round table here. And we'll make some legs come down like that. And like that. So I've still got one main color here. And maybe there's a leg on the other side. There we go. And let's say there's a chair right here. Some patio furniture. And we'll go like that. A little chair. Maybe it has same sort of legs as the table. Just like that. It's just one idea. There we go. Looks kind of like an office chair, but that's okay. I think I'm going to put some more grass over here so that, you know, this is a grassy area. I like to do just little tufts of grass like this so that it doesn't look... You can do grass all over the place if you like, but sometimes if you just add a little bit of squiggly grass, you can get the message across that this is a grassy area. Now I think I'm going to put a flower growing in the grass right here. So I'm going to make a little bit of grass. And then I'm going to have, let's say the stem of the flower is still blue. There's a nice stem. Give it a little leaf. And now I'm going to put my blue down and grab blue's complementary color, which is orange. Make this a little, let's make it sort of a tulipy flower. I like tulips, that's my favorite flower. You can put whatever you like in your drawing, but remember, with your complementary color, you're only doing one or two things, one or two little details, so they really stand out. Now you can really see, if you look at my drawing, that spot of orange, that complementary color really stands out against all the rest of the blue. And it's not just because it's a different color, it's because it's a complementary color. If this were an analogous color, if I had made this flower, for example, blue-green, which is analogous to blue, you would be able to tell that it was a different color, but if you imagine it, it probably wouldn't stand out the way that this orange complementary color really stands out. So I think I will add another little flower over here on the table. Maybe it's in a vase. Just gonna draw a little vase right there on the table with a stem coming out and a little leaf. Maybe this one has 2 leaves. And maybe this one's just a little flower bud. Now I think I will finish up by adding a little bit more blue up here on my trees. Give them some texture, give them some coloration. This one here. And maybe I'm gonna color my grass a little bit. And I'm gonna do a little bit of this grass sort of coloring where I sort of color a little bit zigzaggy like that. So it makes it feel a little bit more like grass. That's one idea you can use. Not drawing every little blade of grass, but this kind of texture, this kind of strategy makes it look a little bit different from, for example, the sideways coloring of the fence. Looks a little bit different. If I add more blue to this artwork, it will make the orange stand out even more, because when you put those complementary colors next to each other, that's something that helps them really stand out. Maybe I'll put a couple of little bits of grass next to the patio. Maybe I'll color in my door a little bit. I'm just trying to cover up some of the white in my picture because, like I said, the more of the blue there is in my picture, the more that orange stands out. You remember when I mentioned earlier that complementary colors, when they're next to each other, they make each other appear or seem brighter. And that is true. Looking at my picture here, that orange looks really bright. And you know what? Next to this little orange, the blue of the table even looks really bright. I think I am almost done here. I'm going to color in the sky a little bit. But see, now that looks a little bit like my fence, so maybe I will Maybe I'll make the fence a little bit darker. Just an idea. I want to make sure not to color over my little flower. There we go. There we go. Now when I take a step back, look at my drawing, I think maybe I want to cover up this line a little bit since I drew that before I drew my stairs. I think I'm gonna just color this in. Just adding little details. And there's my drawing. I have my two complementary colors, orange and blue. And you can see when most of the artwork is one color or maybe even a couple of analogous colors, you can try that too. It makes the complementary color, the color that is directly across from it on the color wheel, makes it stand out just that much more. And if I had done it the other way around, where most of my drawing was orange and I made the flowers blue, that still would have made the blue stand out a lot more, just like the blue made the orange stand out. That is the power of complementary colors. So you can use that, explore that in your artwork. Maybe in the future you can even use some colors, some of our tertiary colors. For example, you could use the yellow-green and the red-violet are directly across from each other. Those are complementary colors. And like I said, you could use some analogous colors and a complementary color and see how that can change your artwork. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time. And as always, keep creating and keep sharing. I'll see you next time.